What's up guys, my name is Timbo and welcome back to more Destiny 2. First of all, I wanted to thank you for the overwhelming support on my last video. I had a feeling it would do well, but as a content creator, you can never know for sure what people are going to cling onto and what they're going to ignore, so there's a lot of new faces here. I welcome you all, and like I said, thank you for watching, but even more than that, thank you for sticking around. Alright, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can get into the topic of today's video, which revolves around the new exotic fusion rifle Merciless, or what I like to call it, Pocket Infinity 2.0. Now, if you're unaware, Merciless is one of the new exotics in Destiny 2 that is receiving some attention. Essentially, whenever you fire this weapon at a target and don't get a kill, aka on bosses, it will charge up the next round faster and faster and faster and slower. Okay, it doesn't actually go slower, I was just saying if you were paying attention. This has caused many people to praise Merciless for its boss DPS melting potential. Now, why does this matter? Where are you going with this? How does it relate to Gjallarhorn? Well, this exotic is a conduit to get me into what I want to talk about, which is overpowered weapons. Will there be a next Gjallarhorn? And is that a good or bad thing? The gameplay you're seeing is not on my account, it is actually my good friend Kyle's, so thank you Kyle, or Sedgi as we call him, for letting me use your account and trusting me with your information. Don't worry, I only deleted all your characters when I was done. After looking at all of the weapons, materials, and currencies Kyle has on his 2 max level characters, I concluded he plays Destiny more than he breathes oxygen, so if you guys could pray for Kyle and his soon-to-be broken thumbs, I'd appreciate it. His cartilage is quickly wearing away, so if we've got any donors out there, just let me know. I don't know if this is necessary, but assuming that we have some new people here who maybe haven't played Destiny 1, I'm going to explain Gjallarhorn to you the best way I can. Oh yeah! So, if you can't tell, Gjallarhorn was pretty garbage. Now this was all fine and dandy at first, however as time went on, Gjallarhorn and other weapons started to cause issues, and if I'm being candid, broke the game. There are 2 instances in particular that stand out to me the most. You'd have countless people on forums using Gjallarhorn as a prerequisite to joining their fire team for a raid. Most of the time it was Crota's End. The other was even more severe, as people, myself included, no shame, would disregard all mechanics in the level 35 Prison of Elders boss fight against Skolas, the quintessential time for Destiny. Skolas at the time was the hardest activity in the game, and you'd have people wait on heavy ammo synths to recharge, sprint into the encounter, and spam G-Horn rockets down his bumhole until he died. Which, sure, it didn't work 100% of the time, but it worked frequently enough to be far less stressful of a strategy than doing the encounter legit. It was so bad that Bungie didn't move Gjallarhorn into year 2. They placed it back into the game a year later, but it was a shadow of its former self for various reasons. How does this relate to Merciless? Well, first of all, I'm not going to say that Merciless is as powerful as Gjallarhorn was in year 1, nor am I saying any weapon in Destiny 2 is at this current time. I'm simply using it as an example. In my videos, I like to pose a question to you all, and then have you respond to said question down in the comments. What I'm going to ask you today is this. Is there a weapon in Destiny 2 right now that you believe will become the next Gjallarhorn, the next Thorn, the next Vex Mythoclast? And if so, is this a bad thing for PvE? Is it bad for PvP? Perhaps both. At this current point in time, there's no way to know, so this video may be a bit premature. People didn't discover the true power of some of these weapons until the game was out for a while. Some were created broken like this, some were given their power by a certain buff, but all were disgustingly good. The way I see it is this. High-level weapons should feel powerful, but within reason. If people are being so ignorant to not include someone else in their raid group because they don't have a particular weapon, then there's a problem. Now, this is kind of common sense, and I'm sure Bungie has learned from their mistakes and is already aware of this. So with that being said, now I flip the question on its head. Does weapon balance make the game boring? Sure, it's easy now to play a ton of Destiny 2, but once you have everything, will there be an incentive to keep playing? Or better yet, is there an exotic or legendary that you play this game for? Gjallarhorn may have been broken, but it kept people playing Destiny 1 because everyone wanted it. If you remove the notoriety of a weapon such as Gjallarhorn from the game, does Destiny immediately lose replayability? And this gets back to something I've talked about before on this channel when comparing PvE and PvE content, which was, does balance come at a cost? The way I see it is this. You want to keep the game balanced on both sides of the coin, that should be obvious. But in terms of power, what Bungie needs to master is progression. They need to keep giving players more and more powerful weapons and gear in the endgame, making them feel like they're getting more powerful while still keeping that balance. We can look at Destiny 1 to illustrate this perfectly. In year 1, Bungie was good at progression in a sense that they were layers to the rewards players were given. Rares were better than uncommons, legendaries were better than rares, and the raid weapons were better than the legendaries. The Vision of Confluence was still a legendary scout rifle, but yet it was better than any other legendary scout rifle in the game. And this structure made sense because the Vision of Confluence was the hardest scout rifle to get. At that time, its elemental burn had some to do with it, but even if you took that away, it would still be deemed as one of the best. Fast forwarding to Destiny 2 and the Taken King, and things changed a bit. While the game was more balanced, it lost some of the stupid fun. There was no more Solar Arc Burn Devil's Lair, where you could have the holy trinity of Fatebringer, Blackhammer, and Gjallarhorn equipped. Elemental primaries were a thing of the past, and the new infusion system allowed players to boost the light levels of their favorite weapons. In this sense, Bungie did well balancing the game, but fell short of the fun factor. Think of it like this. What were you more excited to receive? Fatebringer or Doom of Chelchis? This goes back to the dude reacting to Gjallarhorn. While we laugh at his hyperbolic reaction, it was genuine. You didn't see people getting this excited to get an exotic like that in year 2. You just didn't. So carrying this forward to Destiny 2, what do we conclude with? Well, time is still needed to feel everything out, but I have some hope. I don't know if a 6-man team with Merciless is going to break the raid, it's too early to tell. I don't know if Destiny 2 will miss that sense of a constant power gain, regardless of level. I know it's difficult, but I think it all comes down to design. Even if Gjallarhorn was in year 2, no one would have used it in the raid or even a lot of strikes. It just wasn't catered to that type of rocket gameplay. If Bungie is able to carry this forward, and I think they will while looking at their stance on the new primary special heavy design, then I think things will be fine. Hopefully. In the end, guys, it's easy to have a balanced game. It's easy to have a fun game. It's hard to have both. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, make sure to write your thoughts down below, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.